Hold on. Let me take a sip.
What the hell?
No.
What? I'm a day late? Not a dollar short because we
I
all.
was gonna say a day late, but no dollar short.
Well, I mean, you are in retail hell right now.
Yeah.
How was your Black Friday?
It was
Small Business
good.
Saturday, Cyber Monday. I saw billions of dollars. So I'm sick of people complaining that they're broke.
Yeah, yeah, I can tell you right now, like, the spending is off the charts for people, and I think too, like I was saying, I think a lot of people this summer went on big trips and they, like, did things, so I think this summer, it's like this Christmas, people are, like, just buying stuff, like, it feels like we're just getting back to buying things,
I think it
so
was $8 billion on Black Friday, $10 billion on Saturday. D- Cyber Monday, crazy. Like people
bananas.
are just shopping right now. And I
Did
don't
you
know whether they're
participate?
shopping early, shopping the deals. Not really.
Oh my god, my bank account's on fire.
Well, it is, but it's not like I did it. My daughter
Oh.
spent like $300 on skincare products, and I'm looking through the bank account. I was like, how much money did we spend? What are we buying? It's
So
not
funny.
for Christmas. It's just for now.
It was a lot of, like, 1 for you, 2 for me for the shopping, so and all of my customers were that way too, like, majority of the customers we had over the weekend was like, "Oh, do you need gift receipts or boxes?" They were like, "No." I was like, "Okay, got
I
it."
think that that's what's happening. I think people are just buying for them and for the now. And
Mhm.
I think it's going to be maybe a smaller gift giving thing.
Yeah.
And it's more like that's on sale and I need it for me.
Yeah.
I need comfort now. Retail it is.
Yep, and
Retail therapy.
all of the normal things that are usually, like, big sellers that people want, nobody cares about, which I think is fascinating. Like, pajama pants, people could care less about. Usually, I'm, like, flying out the door in, like, cute plaid pajama nobody wants them. Nobody wants Christmas PJs this year. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, it's very weird. Cashmere sweaters are usually, like, a big deal. They're fun, people are buying them, but they're not it's always, like, it's weird stuff this year.
All
So,
right.
you know, we'll take it, but
I know. It's a kooky Christmas, everybody. We've dubbed it. It's
totally,
not even
totally
there yet.
I know. So, apologies about Monday,
Well,
guys.
that happens. Do we still want to do horoscopes?
Oh, yeah, we do, but I wanna do full moon horoscopes. Because is anybody
Oh.
else feeling the, like, psychoness that's it like, I am so drained and tired today, and I think it's because we had a full moon last night. So I'm thinking that maybe those are more relevant this week, the full moon. Did you get the link I sent you?
No.
It's in the do you have the episode up? Because it's the
Yeah.
first link in the episode. It's the first link in the episode.
Oh, all right. I'm
I
down
prepped
for
you.
it. I'm down
So,
for it.
as long as you want.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have warned you before we
The
opened up the
beaver moon. I'm here. It's got an interesting backstory, by the way.
What is the backstory to the beaver moon? I don't even know.
Well, it says while many other full moon nicknames are linked to colors, blue moon,
Yeah.
black moon, pink moon.
Harvest moon.
Yep, the beaver moon is significant for an entirely different reason. November's full moon name, unless it's the hunter's moon, refers to animals preparing for winter. So that represents what was going
But
on
why
at
not,
the
like, the
time.
bear moon or the moose moon? Like, well
It's not just about the moon. The moon sadly doesn't look like a beaver. Instead, the beaver moon is referenced to a period when beavers would start to hide away for winter in their
oh,
shelters.
okay.
All right,
Well,
so this is called the digging in moon. Us animals are digging into our den.
yeah, I'm kinda doing that, like, homely thing. I've been cooking a lot. I've been,
Well, I
like,
think that's a
buying cozy
Thanksgiving thing.
things. Yeah, I've been, like, buying cozy things. I've been, like, thinking about home design, room design. I don't know.
Well, ours is a rat's nest right now. We had our big
Hmm.
first Christmas market that we put on for the
Oh, yeah,
business,
how was
and it was
that?
it was insane. It was great. It was really well attended. I mean, we had over 100 people the first hour. Like
My god,
it
amazing.
was wild and great and so full of positive energy and
That's
it was
awesome.
awesome. But now I have totes on totes on totes on totes and it's like
Of stuff.
closing in my whole house.
Yeah.
So
So
we
how
definitely need to get organized.
that was the first one. Do you have another one, or is that the one
We
and
have
only?
3 more.
Oh my gosh, when are they? Remind me.
December 3rd, 10th, and 17th.
Oh, 3rd, maybe I'll come. Isn't that this weekend?
Yes. Yes, Sunday.
Oh, I knew this, and I will be there.
Yep, good. Sunday. Just so many of them. So
I
we've
knew
got our
this. I'm
company
sorry I
Christmas
can't keep track
party.
of your schedule and my schedule.
Damn it, Tori,
Ah,
figure it out. Why not?
so I'm getting off those. Welcome. All right,
We've
anyway, back to horoscopes.
got this digging in moon situation. So here we go. We're going to give you the horoscopes based on our full moon situation. Aries, the Gemini full moon will highlight your current thoughts, ideas, and concepts. What do you feel about the most uneducated? This lunation is bringing about your unanswered questions. Interesting.
Okay.
Taurus, I guess it'll shed some light on your personal resources and assets. What's your current relationship with your money and what does it look like? Gemini, for you, it's going to unfold your first house of personal identity, bringing many of the questions and concepts to light. Oh, you've been keeping yourself mentally stimulated. You're realizing some important ideas about yourself and self-expression. So this is your moon. That's why you're delving into yourself. Answer your innermost questions and curiosities will be your primary focus. What makes you tick? Leo, your current friendships and communities will be your main concern right now. The people around you are sharing important information, and you need to be taking note of that. Virgo, you're shedding light on your current professional status and career endeavors, priding yourself on the one to notify and inform people publicly. But on this, you are taking all of that in for yourself. So it's kind of reverse for you, making yourself a priority. Libra, where are we here? You're going to be seeking spiritual guidance and information that supports your current belief systems. Scorpio, financial burdens, prompting you to get curious about what you're obligated to take care of or what you're not taking care of.
Ooh, interesting.
I know. Sagittarius, this will unfold in your fifth house. You're going to be inclined to get curious about the people that you surround yourself with. What are you to them? What are they to you? And it's a fortunate time to get engaged. Capricorn, I think just get engaged, like doing things in your life, not put
I
rings
know, but
on
it's
it.
also like engagement season. I feel like every time I open up my phone, I'm like getting somebody else is engaged.
And too many things to deal with. Yeah, well,
And
it is
now I'm
the end of
hitting
the
the
year.
point too where like people are also getting divorced. I'm that old and I like still haven't got, so we're either on like,
Mm.
engagement season or divorce season, one of the two.
All right, Capricorn, current habits, regimens, rituals, and you're going to be increasing your productivity. Why? Like I'm very productive
No.
already. It says, but rather than taking action, you'll be rethinking how you're making the most of your time and energy. I literally just said this an hour ago.
Yeah.
So this is good. I'm regulating my daily life. We're working on
Good.
it.
Perfect.
Aquarius, creative passions and pleasures in life, looking for what brings you joy and engaging that. So that's kind of exciting. And then Pisces, your home and family matters will be your main area of focus.
Oh, didn't I just say this?
Yes. You're also going to be making some pivotal decisions in your home or getting curious about how you can continue to prioritize the desire for mental stimulus in that part of your life.
Oh, that's so funny because I was literally scrolling and trying to figure out how I'm going to design a Christmas tree like 20 minutes ago. So I feel like that's what that is.
Where does my Christmas tree go?
Well, and like the colors of it and how much do I want it calming? How much do I want it like exciting and sparkly versus like
Oh, well, Lily's going black and white this year. We're doing
oh,
black and white. I don't know why or where this came from, but it's small and it's black and white, and that's all I know.
okay.
I have to outsource the creative decisions around here because that's just not of interest to me.
Well, boyfriend not boyfriend is in his first Christmas in his house.
Oh,
So he's a wicked Grinch. This is actually probably the only thing that we like butt heads about because I am a complete Christmas elf in everything I do this time of year. And he obviously is the
yeah.
absolute opposite. So
Your buddy the elf and he's Walter. It's awesome.
yeah, like beyond.
You're like, listen, you're coming around to it, whether you like it or not. So embrace.
Yep. Well, kind of. So I was cranky for a couple days, so he got me a Christmas tree.
Oh,
Which is like the sweetest thing. But now I obviously am like, great, now it's here. And he's like, we'll just put it up. And I'm like, no, you also need like lights and ornaments. And he's like, no, just the tree. And I'm like, nope, that's not how this works. So I'm trying to like incorporate his like lack of Christmas spirit with
I
my
like it.
but it's his house, but I'm, like, also a little over creative, so I'm trying to, like, rein myself in the whole time, so it's an experience, but I'll
Right.
figure it.
Well, boyfriend, not boyfriend, has now got a tree.
Boyfriend, no boyfriend has a has a Christmas tree, so
So we're there. I mean, you're getting there. You're slowly infiltrating. You
he
can't go
did.
full on Tory with all the sparkles just yet.
No, not yet. We gotta we gotta work it out. And I joke at things about it. I'm like, "Oh, that's a year 4 thing. We can wait for that. Oh, that's a year 2 thing." Like,
Do you
he's
actually have
being
a calendar like this? Like, do you really
judgmental. Like, things that I, like, know that I can't release, like, areas of my personality that I can't share until there's, like, a level of loyalty there. Um,
hysterical?
6 months in, there's not enough investment there yet, so but like a tree, we can start.
I love it.
You can't, like, release the whole beast before, you know what I mean? If I did that, he would run away screaming. Fair.
I feel like just pull the Band-Aid. I mean, here it is. What do you think?
I'm not that dumb.
Ah!
We actually like this one. We're trying not to scare him away.
Don't move too quickly, we'll startle him.
So true. Oh god, I know I'm
Making
making fun of
sudden
myself.
movements.
It's
Making
like
sudden movements.
I'm like 1000% making fun of myself, but that like legitimately is the energy the whole time. Well,
Don't you think he knows? I feel like he knows. And he's just, I mean,
he
you
has
did go to high school with him. He does know you.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't really know if he paid attention to me though. And like I was a weirdo. Um, I think he has an idea. Like, "Ooh, there might be more here," but, boys are boys, like, they're not really gonna if it lessens
I
in front of
love
their face, they're not gonna notice, so
just let the weird seep out slowly. And eventually he'll be surrounded in it and he can't stop it.
it'll be
I
too
like
late.
it.
It'll be too late.
It's a strategy. I
Oh
like it.
god,
We'll see
we'll
how it
see.
unfolds. Are you ready to
We
get
will
into what's roasting?
yes, so let's go.
All right.
Um,
So I didn't even know Paris Hilton was having another baby. And here we
well,
are.
okay, so she had another baby. Phoenix is her 10-month-old son, and London is her new baby girl. She doesn't tell anybody. Like,
Yeah.
she had her children via surrogate because she was traumatized from watching somebody give birth. And then she just said, "I'm never gonna do it." So her kids are via surrogate, which I feel like if you have that much access in life, like, all the power to you.
Right.
Um, so she had her first son via surrogate and, like, didn't tell anybody and had the baby for, like, a week, and then she, like, went to her parents and was like, "Look, a child. It's ours."
And
And
to be
gave it to
fair, I'm sure the paparazzi was just like, it's probably another dog. We don't know.
them.
We don't know.
Yep. So now she's got a baby girl, and that's that. She just was, like, threw it on Instagram with a little onesie that said London on it. Like, I'm shocked London and Paris.
That's not shocking to me.
No. I feel like you could have been a little bit more creative, honestly. I just feel like it's a little too obvious, but
Yeah. She's never been one to even care what anybody thinks about her, so I kind
no.
of appreciate it.
But I thought Phoenix was like, I get we're doing the cities, but I thought Phoenix was good. Like, you could have done Austin, would have been, like, kinda normal. Do you know what I mean? But I thought Phoenix was a good one, like, kind of good, but, like, off the beaten path, but, like, a city, but, like, great, and London is just, like, eh.
I don't know. I think it's just fitting. I think it's very Paris Hilton.
That's true.
I'm
Yeah.
happy for her. I'm happy that she's in a
What
committed
is sh
relationship.
what is she famous for? Well, she's married.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I just
Oh.
never thought there would be one human for her. She's famous for her family being famous, and then she did that horrible reality show with Nicole Richie.
Oh, yeah.
And then she did have an album that, by the way, still has, like, millions of people that listen to it, The Stars Are Blind. It's really not a bad song. I'm not anti Paris Hilton, but she just became, like, a European one-hit wonder and has, like, kind of just ridden on that carpet for forever.
Is she like Hilton, like the Hiltons?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't really pay attention. I just thought she was famous for being blonde.
No. No, she had a reality one of the first reality shows, really.
Oh, that makes sense because Kim Kardashian was her assistant for a long time. They grew up
Right.
together and then it
Right.
like paved the way.
Yeah.
I also think the idea of surrogacy was Kim's idea. So they're besties. Cute. Love
I
that.
don't know if they're still besties, though. I don't know. I think that there was some bad blood there, but I never know what their real life is and what they
How do
just allow.
how do we have a pop culture podcast and I have no idea?
Well, I mean, I don't think that you were really alive for that.
No, I
I
was too
mean,
young.
or, like, cognizant of it. You were too busy, like, putting on black eyeliner and trying to be weird even though you were just regular.
Oh, you're talking about me in high school. Yes. So anyway, J-Lo is releasing a new album.
You were having your goth moment. I don't know. You weren't paying
I bet you
attention to these
boyfriend on
things.
boyfriend could confirm that.
We'll have to ask and check in. We'll see if the dates line up afterwards.
Oh god.
So good. All right,
So
so J-Lo is having reintroducing herself.
yeah, so she's releasing an album 20 years since her other album. I don't yeah, I can't figure this out. It's a whole to do. But apparently the thing to do now is not just release an album but also release like a movie with it. I
I
guess that's the
well,
thing.
I don't know whether it was the Taylor Swift phenomenon, but now it's the Renaissance phenomenon. Now
Yeah,
it goes along with it. Well, people are realizing that it's a full sensory project now. It's
I
not
guess.
just the radio, it's not just the video, it's like the whole it's every layer. We need to infiltrate at every layer.
Sure. But I think it's one thing to do it if you're Beyoncé and Taylor Swift, and it's another thing to do if you're J-Lo.
Do
Like,
you think that it's too thirsty? Do you feel like she's too old for this? Do you feel like
no, I
this
think
is
she has so
not
many yeah, yeah, a little thirsty. That's probably what it is. Like,
yeah.
you're thinking very big of yourself to, like, release an album 20 years later. And I'm not saying anything against the album, like, I think it'll do well, but it feels a little, like, chasey to me to be like, I'm also gonna do the video project. And I get it. Like, I think it can be creative expression and I understand. But I also wanna be like, don't you wanna, like, test the waters with, like, a single? And see how it goes before we release a whole feature film on
Yeah.
the backs of Taylor Swift and Beyoncé. Like, we're not J-Lo, I respect you. The amount of talent and hard work I think in that woman far surseeds like a majority of the pop stars in the world. I think like the creativity and the business acumen and everything that she's got, huge. This to me is a little bit like, all right, you're going a little too far.
I don't know. I've got a lot of thoughts on this actually, just because we there's a sexism grain here that I'm kind of
Oh,
stuck on. I feel like when people like Elton John or Rod Stewart or any of these people come out with a new album, we kind of just embrace that. Here's another decade. Here's another album. We're just going to like it. But I feel like when the Madonnas of the world, or now we've got J Lo, or there's a new decade of their life, there's a new space in their life, they want to make an album of it, and we're like, aren't you too old for that, or are we're
no,
not
okay.
ready, or is it chasey?
So
Is
let me
it
clarify. I think
yeah.
the album, dead on. Like, this is a great time in her life to put out a new album. Give me your new perspective, what it's like to be married to Ben Affleck, do the whole thing. I think it's a little chasey to now follow the pop culture point of view where you're trying to release the full film along the lines of Beyonce and Taylor Swift.
So
That's where I kind of draw the
so
line.
you were hoping for a little bit of elevation, or just a more refined rollout, or maybe something that's a little bit more her speed? Is that an ageism thing? So it's like that's what I'm
No,
saying,
I
like, I
would have
feel like women really have to battle the sexism and the ageism that
no,
comes
because I would have
along with
I would have thought the
the
same thing.
growth.
Like if Elton John was like, "I'm gonna put out a new album and a feature film," I'd be like, "Elton John, pretty sure you're on tour and not singing the same as you used to be, so we know it's gonna be auto-tuned. And two, I don't need a feature film of you. I don't. Like I don't need to go. I don't need to do this." So I think it's just maybe it's the way that albums are gonna get released now with this visual component. And for me, I'm like, if you're not the number one star in the world, then I don't see the point.
Is that your
Maybe
Taylor Swift hanging out?
yeah, that could be. But that's because
I'm
that's where my
protecting my
judgment is.
girl, and this is where
Yeah.
my judgment is.
Maybe that's where my judgment is. It's not
Yeah.
on the
No, I'm
album,
just
like, I
curious.
think
I'm
it's
just
cool.
exploring this conversation because I
Yeah,
feel like
beyond.
we all kind of feel that same way. Like, I felt it was copycatish even with Beyonce
Yeah, we did
when
talk
it
about it with
happened. You
Beyonce.
know what
We
I
did
mean? So
yeah.
I was just trying to unpack where that line is of, are you trying to be something else? Is that the thing that everyone's doing now? Is this what how we're connecting now? Or is it just I'm just curious, really.
Yeah, I think it could be the way bigger stars are moving it. I just and it is nothing against J-Lo. I just would rather have seen her do a soft launch back into the music world as opposed to, like,
Like, oh wow,
fully
she's got
full
a new single out. That's really cool.
and see how it lands in the whole thing. Like, I am
'Cause the
not
full court press feels very thirsty. It does
yeah,
feel like I need attention. I'm not getting it at home. I've decided that since I have so much
except
money that I'm gonna, like, put this out and people better notice me.
yeah, and I
I
think it's
don't know why
interesting
I
that,
feel
like,
that way,
Ben Affleck apparently is co-writing the movie, so it's like you guys are going to bed and talking about this, so it's clearly like a creative outlet, so
which I
I'm all about
love.
it. I think that's cool, but it
Yeah.
does feel a little bit like whiplash from, like, one life of hers to the other because she was very much so more this businesswoman with A-Rod, like, investing in businesses, doing things like that, kinda taking a backseat from the pop culture piece and really investing her time into being the brand of things to suddenly like, I'm in a new relationship now. I want to be all out there again. And for me, I can't tell if it feels like creative expression or like another way to make money.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I
That's
think,
also yucky too. I don't like the
right.
feeling of that also.
Yeah. I just don't, and then to be like, well, the movies are what the people are doing now. So, and I'm JLo, so I'm going to do one of those too. I could be like, well, you're telling me when the single's getting released. Like, you're
Yeah,
JLo. I don't know if you were JLo at one point in time, but it's been 20 years. Like, just release the
yeah.
single.
I'd rather just have you do something that's just uniquely you. That's
Yes,
my
I
perspective of things.
right. That maybe that's what it is. I can't tell if this is her or if this is like
The
wha
machine.
yeah. But when you compare, and I hate to say this, but, like, when you compare her raw talent to Beyoncé and to Taylor Swift, there's an argument there that she is a more well-rounded artist and a more
Yeah,
well-rounded person than the
yeah.
2 of them. You've got Beyoncé who's got, like, absolutely an incredible voice, but she's not a trained dancer. She's not
No,
a trained actress in any capacity. She's done
right.
bits and pieces here and there, but those are not her forte. Her forte is singing. Same thing with Taylor Swift. You actually Taylor Swift's a lot better, but if you look at, like, where she was in the beginning of her career, she's actually very awkward on stage.
Yeah.
She's become a performer and she's become a dancer overall, but that she didn't and she's done some acting gigs, but, like, she
I
has
love
no raw
J-Lo since she was
talent.
a fly girl, and you probably don't even know what that is.
But, like, you think about J.Lo in those movies like, uh, Made in Manhattan and The Wedding Planner, like, she was, like, an actress in those movies first,
Yeah, well, she was a
and
dancer first, so
yeah,
that's
so
where her
I just think she's like the ultimate triple threat that like
mhm.
made triple threats what they are.
Yeah,
And
so
so it's
maybe you just
interesting to
expected
me.
more of her than just following the, "This is what we're doing now because everybody is
Yeah.
doing it."
Yeah.
And maybe that's where it was. I just wanted to unpack it for a hot minute, so I'm glad we talked about it, 'cause I definitely agree. Okay, so I brought this up last night at one of my shows about the Daryl Hall and John Oates thing, and I actually started having this dialogue with, one of my regular trivia goers about how they've been fighting with each other for years.
Uh, it's fascinating to me. I didn't know they were fighting. It's just it feels like a divorce statement.
Well, 100% they've been together since college. So, I mean, think about having, like, your bestie that you've been with since you were 20 years old, and, I mean, they're old. They wanna go
Yeah.
there. Daryl
They're go-
Hall wrote the majority of all of this. He wrote most of the music.
oh, I didn't know that piece. Okay.
Yes. So, John Oates obviously has and I wouldn't say riding coattails, but he does own
I mean,
part.
they split the catalog 50
Yeah,
50, right?
right,
So now
right.
what's his name? John Oates is trying to sell his half, and Daryl Hall's like, "You can't just sell it to the first person. Like, we have to like do an assessment and like figure out what the value of this is first."
Right.
Which I totally agree. You
Yeah.
can't like in a divorce sell a house without getting an assessment on the value of the house. Like,
Well, and especially since it's Daryl Hall's it's mostly his intellectual property. So he's like, "I don't mind if you are making money off of it, but we need to see how much money you're gonna be making off of this because 'cause you're selling my rights."
yeah, and also too because if I'm sure if John Oates sells his half for what Daryl Hall considers less of a value, it devalues Daryl Hall's half.
Correct. Correct. So I totally get it. I wish they would just let the lawyers settle it and stay out of it. It's not like either of them need the money. I mean, obviously John does need the money more than
Or he
Daryl
wouldn't be
does.
selling.
or he wouldn't be selling. And I know Daryl doesn't, need the money. He's made way more money because he was the actual writer on the project
I was
than.
gonna say, do you think he probably has more emotional ties to the tracks and to the music itself, and that's
Oh,
why he's not interested in
100%. But
selling
once
it as a
again,
track?
when you've got a partner like that, and that's just like it's a divorce, and you just have to set it. And it's unfortunate that this divorce is happening when they're 70.
I know, and what do you think a better question is, like, do you think it's selling 49% or a true 50? Because you would think that, like, there's gotta be a majority holder
Yeah.
to keep control over what happens with the music as opposed to 50-50. What do you do? Split by album, split by track? Well,
I don't know.
otherwise it gets sold for, like, commercials and, like, rewrites, and
Correct.
so there's gotta be a majority holder to control who's got the creative rights to do what.
I know. And I also love the fact that his company's name is Whole Oats.
I know, it's funny.
Like it's a granola bar. I'm here for it. All right,
Oh,
so
man.
Nicki Minaj living in her little bubble, not even realizing that she had a fragrance that was being released, and she's like,
So,
"Wait a minute."
she had a fragrance, she knew it was coming out, and then the company, I think it was JCPenney, one of the stores just released it and put it on shelves earlier than anticipated. What I think is funny, it's very Nicki Minaj, but, like, in terms of business and in terms of, like,
So
branding, I'm like,
disconnected.
"Keep your mouth shut. Why are you
Right.
telling people that you had no idea what was going on with your company?"
It just makes you look dumb in business, and I don't like that.
That's what I think too. I think it
Yeah.
was she came out and she said, "I haven't even seen a bottle." Like, well, you just told the world that, like, you actually had nothing to do with this company, you just slapped your name on it. So
Which
now aren't you devaluing the company a
it's
little
a
and
disconnect
the
for
product?
me and to the fans, and there's not. Once again, though, when you're buying a Nicki Minaj fragrance, do you think she sat there, like, toiling away making this fragrance for you? It's not. I think we're really what and that's why I slapped on the word of the year from Merriam-Webster's dictionary.
There's a word of the
It's a
year.
real word this year, and the word is authentic.
Oh,
It's
wow.
not authentic. So that's
Yeah.
why it, like, really aligned with the word of the year this year, because I think that these conversations that we're having today, all of these stories kind of go into that realm of being your authentic self. We don't feel like
Yes.
J-Lo is being her authentic self. We feel like you're stepping into the machine. Daryl Hall is trying to keep his authenticity, where Oates is like, well, I didn't really write any of that, so I'm kind of disconnected to it, and I just kind of
Right.
need some money right now.
Yep.
It's one of those things that all boils down to why I think that this word is the word of the year. And this conversation is being our authentic selves. I feel like for whatever reason, 3 years post pandemic, and we're all here trying to go into 2024 being our regular authentic
So you're
selves.
telling me I should rip the Band-Aid off with Band-Aid up with boyfriend, not boyfriend, and
Don't
just
let it just seep out, Tori. But I mean, also, I'm not going to be like popping out like a jack in the box
oh my
like we're
god.
watching Elf right now.
When I first this is so funny. When I first started, seeing him and I was telling my best friend, like, "Oh, I'm kinda starting to see this guy. I'm a little bit nervous about it. I'm gonna 1000% gonna mess this up somewhere." My best friend's advice was, "Don't be yourself."
I hate that because
But it's true!
I well, yes. I mean, we must temper people like chocolate a little bit to the way we are at this moment in time to get to this sweet, lovely thing. We need to show you the whole thing before you just run away and afraid. I feel like it's been a little bit of that moment, but if you're not living your true authentic self with
Alright, now I'm
somebody
just getting
that
lectured. Let's go back to the story. So,
bah!
about Nicki
No, but Nicki
Minaj.
Minaj, there's that disconnect, right?
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
I
gonna
also think
buy
it's
that.
I don't know if it's just unclassy or, like, weird to me when she just comes out and she goes, "I didn't know anything about it. I didn't get a link to a post. I just woke up one day and y'all were talking about it." Like, I just it's a little bit of like, what you don't wanna see the cooks in the kitchen? Like, just
I don't wanna know how it's made, just feed it to me.
yeah, and I don't know why it bothers me, but my hot take
I
is that, like, I find it immature.
For me, I don't find it immature, I feel like you have too much money. It was the situation with Cardi B when she gifted what's her husband's name? Offset?
Yeah.
She gave him a giant check for $2,000,000 for his birthday. It's
And, like, a
so
gift card? Like, what
no,
is
like a
that?
giant got like a clearinghouse check
It's
for
weird.
$2,000,000, and then, like, that was
Are
at his
they
birthday
married?
party.
Like, a
Yes.
spouse? You
Yes.
just give your spouse money?
So
Ugh.
it was weird to me. I don't think it was a class thing. I felt it was, you just have too much money.
It feels classless to me. Sorry. Like, it's one of
Yeah.
those things where, like, money can't buy class. Like, uh
That's that new money.
well, it feels a little bit like that, right? I hate to say it, but it's true.
Tori, your yacht club is hanging out.
Oh, stop. That's not remotely what
I'm
I
kidding.
meant.
I'm kidding.
But I don't know, I just feel like it just feels like you couldn't
I
buy
just
like
think it's you have too much money. If you don't know what things are happening in your business and you're not
yes.
paying attention to the things, then clearly you're not involved, which means you don't care about it enough to know.
Just
You
keep your
just have
mouth
your
shut about it. Stop letting us know that you have like, it makes you look bad that you have no idea what's going on. Regardless of the fact that you're clearly salty and you're blaming the team on the team and the teams of the team. Like, at the end of the day,
you're
you're
paying
making
the
yourself
team
look bad. Right.
and
At
you're
the end of the
making
day, you're
yourself
making
look
yourself
bad.
look bad. You're making yourself look like you're not in charge. You have no idea what's going on. It's either your company that you have no control over, or you're just putting your name on things, which is worse. Like,
Yeah.
ugh, that's all.
But that doesn't make people stick to your brand. It's not being your authentic self. So,
Okay. Yeah. No, you're right. Bring it all back.
right? All right.
Also, on the vein of classless, I'm sorry. I don't know if this is a hot take or what, but I'm so unbelievably done with seeing these stories. The Tiffany Haddish on her
Oh,
second DUI
yeah.
in a year, 2 years, whatever. I'm not about it.
You're not about what?
First of all, that you got a second OUI. Like, okay,
You
are you
have
going to
so
admit
many
to
people. You have so many people to not let you drive.
yes, that's my frustration. Like, you have every access in the world, and yet you put yourself forget yourself, you put everybody around you at risk. You put people at risk that were around you that had nothing to do with your experience, your night, whatever. You're putting their lives at risk because you made a dumb decision. And if you didn't have any resources and you had a problem and you admitted that you had a problem, then I would maybe have a little bit more sympathy for you. But what did you do? A couple days later, instead, you went out and made a joke about it. That's where I draw the line. Like, you have every opportunity and every resource and enough money in your bank account to take the most expensive Uber home if you decided. You didn't do that. You're not admitting that you have a problem, except the fact that you've gotten 2 OUIs in the last 2 years. So clearly there's an alcohol issue there. So you could come out and be like, I clearly have an issue that I'm working with. Instead,
Right.
you kind of did, but not really. You just said you're trying to be better at setting boundaries. Like, oh, that's kind of skirting the problem, actually. And then you went off and like made a comedy sketch about it.
Well, you know what? Comedy mirrors their actual life. So I'm not mad about that, but I am mad
No,
that this continues to happen when you have the resources to not let this happen. And it's not just you that you're poking fun of, you're poking fun at injuring other people or
I'm
possibly
sorry.
injuring other people.
I
And
think
that's
when you
not cool.
say I think when you say in your sketch, "I prayed to God to send me a man with a job, preferably one in uniform," and then you get picked up by the cops for an OUI, like, that's classless. Like, don't that's not funny. It's not
Well,
funny.
have you seen the hot Barnstable cop? Because he made a he made another
He was
appearance.
actually working in the mall the other day. Officer Smolder.
Officer Waddell is married. But he is a supermodel. Like, I cannot
Are we talking
explain.
about is he?
No, he looks like one. He's not
No, is
actually
he
one.
married?
Yes, he is.
Maybe we're talking about 2 different people because I thought
Is
Officer
there
Smolder
another
was
one?
I don't know, is the town blessed with that many hot cops in Barnstable? The
I feel
bluest
like
eyes in the world. Like,
I
he was just standing on the side of the hallway, and I was like, "I've never seen this man in person in my life, but I know exactly who that is."
hold on, I think I might even have it because I downloaded it just to see it again. Not kidding.
Officer Smolder.
Is it
I
that one?
heard a rumor, I don't
Look at your screen. Can
oh
you
my
see
god, yeah,
him?
1000%, that's
Okay.
exactly who that
Yeah, I'm
was.
just
You
checking.
don't miss that jaw.
It's like, wait a minute. Also, the guy behind him looks like Ryan Reynolds, but that'll be addressed
Also an
later.
attractive man, though. Like,
And that's not even the best version of him. You have to see like the straight on version of him. It's just
his
different.
eyes are startling. You know who they remind me of? Who's the guy that plays, Jackson Avery in Grey's Anatomy? I forget his name.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yes.
has that, like, darker skin tone with the dark hair and then those, like, piercing blue eyes that, like,
Yes.
stop you in your tracks.
Yep.
That's that man. He
Right.
was just standing, having a cup of coffee in the hallway, and I was like,
But
knew.
immediately the thirsty women came right out on social media and everyone's like, please pull me over. And then it got so
But
creepy. Like the
that
unwanted advances began.
okay, but that can be funny. Like, in a way, it's not funny when you are arrested for an OUI and
Yeah,
you're joking about getting picked up by a man
right.
in uniform. Like,
Right.
that's not
But if it's that
anyway.
man in uniform, I'm not gonna
Well,
find that crime to get
do
into,
something
but
else, like, get an offender bender. You don't have to, like, tap a gas station or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the little, like, the little guardy things, like,
something a little less
accidentally run into
dangerous.
that.
Can
You
you
don't
keep your
need
crime a little less dangerous? Thanks.
Yes. If this is the tactic you wanna take to meet Officer Smolder, I support you, but, I don't support you when it's an OUI.
There you go. And with
Is that
that,
fair?
get perky with us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The First Shot Morning Show.
Have a great day,
Bye,
everyone.
guys.
First Shot Morning Show is produced by Lemonadio. When life gives you lemons, make radio. We encourage everyone to listen happier.com.